Hey, good morning. So, my last video, so I'm in Denver, Colorado. Today is the 12th, but I haven't been here for 12 days. So it's neither like my ninth day here in Denver, Colorado, or something like that, or 10 days. And slept well last night, slept really good. It's getting hot here, it's starting to heat up, and I have a sweater and this jacket that I'm wearing. And then I got my sleeping bag, but it's like too hot to be wearing it all, and like carrying it all, it seems kind of like pointless. And so I'm thinking about cutting up the sweater and using it for material. I didn't use my sleeping bag last night. I probably will need my sleeping bag again. I was also thinking about maybe if I didn't need it for the summer, maybe I could like get rid of it and get another one when it gets cold again. But after I leave here, I plan on going to Portland, Oregon, so I might need it there. But I might even need my sweater in Portland, Oregon. I don't know. It's hard. It's just like I'm carrying all this weight, and it gets hot, and so I don't move around a lot in the day because I'm trying to stay cool. Also, I woke up feeling a little moody today, and just thinking about what it is that I'm doing. What's the point of it all? And then it's like, well, there's no point to anything. I don't want to get too pessimistic or nihilistic, but it's like, it's no point. I'm feeling, this is what I'm feeling. And so why not do what it is that I'm doing? At least that's how I woke up feeling. And then also thinking, like, do I really want to do anything else? But anyway, I'm gonna pull the card for the day. Page of Cups. It's already pulled Page of Cups, I think. So I'm gonna pull another one. But that's interesting. So I'm gonna jot that down. Maybe I'm stuck in the Page of Cup energy. Something did happen where I met someone who was younger than me, like the day after I pulled that Page of Cups, and the interaction wasn't really that great. Because the Page of Cups speaks about youthful energy, and that neither it speaks about you or a younger person that's going to come into your life who like will help you get out of, like, I guess the way you're being. They help you be more youthful, to express more of that energy. And I also took it as like looking for signs from the universe because he's speaking to this fish. Um, but I'm gonna jot that down because I wanted to like pay attention to any cards that I pull more than once. So I'm pulling another card. Oh, the Hangman. Um, it's about taking a rest and like taking a choosing to take a break and just meditate on some decision or on something. Excuse me, to somebody like in the area. So I was just like lost focus. But yeah, Hangman is taking the chosen to take a break, as far as I understand. He's hanging upside down, and it's not like he's stuck there because one leg is free and his two arms are behind his back, but possibly they're free. They actually, when I look at it, they look like they might be tied behind his back, but what I understand is that he could untie himself, but he's choosing to take a break and just, hang out. And so maybe that it definitely resonates with how I'm feeling right now, but it's like there's nothing to take a break from because I'm not doing anything but my art and creating. So I don't know. I feel like every day is kind of like this for right now until I start selling again on the street. And last night too, I saw somebody from New York here, and they've been, I guess, selling on the street here. It was a surprise. I was coming to a corner, and the corner had this fence up with mesh wrapped around the fence, so I could see him through the fence, like coming towards the corner, and I was like, "Dang, is that really this guy?" And then we met up at the corner, and it was cool. Then I saw him again last night, so I guess he's been like selling out here, hanging out around Colorado. And like I said in other videos, like I never really thought too much about Colorado. Being in New York, you kind of get, I don't know, there's definitely a time where I was like, I'm in the greatest city in the world. And so I didn't really think about too many other places. And so to see him from New York here in Colorado, it just feels kind of weird because it's not something I would think of. Being, like small-minded, like, why would you come to Colorado? But it is beautiful in Colorado. I don't know exactly his situation, but he's been here for a year, so he says, and I didn't know he had been here that long. So it was cool to see him just because he's from New York, and we used to sell in the subways together in New York, and he introduced me to some other people that I see around here, but I never really spoke to. And when he brought that up, like, he said when he saw me, he saw New York and all this stuff. And I don't think I'm a really good representation of New York in that sense of, like, I'm from New York, but that was cool because, yeah, we did sell in the subway together. Like, so everything he said, like, I don't know. I don't really care to prove myself, but the guys that he introduced me to was like, who's he? Is he cool and all this stuff? I'm like, I don't really want to hang around y'all anyway. I was just speaking and I'm trying to get away, but he was like, no, yeah, he cool. I vouch for him. He's a good artist, and we used to sell in New York together, and that was cool. But it was like I don't have anything to prove. Like I was just speaking, like, so anyway, I don't know what was up with that person, but anyway, have a good day today. I don't know. I'm feeling kind of moody, but I'll look up more about the hangman and make another video later. Alright, have a good one. Hey, I came to the river a little early today to just chill and be alone. Let me close this thing. Thinking more on the card, I think that it is telling me to take a break. Strangely, all the cards have really been making sense to me as far as just like trying to walk away from my old way of thinking or my pattern of thinking. And so with the hangman, it's taking a break and choosing to take this break, like it's a needed break. And even if you tried to fight it, I guess wouldn't work well. So you just need to take this break right now. Also, whenever you're ready, I guess you could, he could untie his foot, and there was even symbolism of how his leg is like bent. I forget. So today I'm just trying to chill and not work on anything. I had to patch up my jacket, and I cut up this sweater that I was wearing because it was just like a sweatsuit material, sweater, and it was really hot. It's hotter than my heavier jacket because it's that t-shirt sweatsuit material, and it like makes you sweat. So I cut that up, and so it's more of a personal project. But I'm trying not to work on any dolls today. I'm trying to take it easy. I think working on the dolls so hard, though I've slowed down and I'm really trying to take my time, is my old way of thinking. Like I had to work really hard and produce in order to like maintain. And part of it was the ego, because I wanted to maintain this image of being this creator that creates dolls and in the world. But even if I do want to do that, I know that I shouldn't be trying so hard, because it doesn't balance out like it just doesn't balance out because I'm working really hard to produce and to maintain, and just not really taking the time to just chill and enjoy uh, what I have accomplished. And I think that's what all the cars have been saying. So when it comes to this, it's like, okay, I guess I'm not listening to the other cars, and I didn't really know exactly what I was supposed to do based on the other cars, because I felt like the other cars was also telling me to walk away, and I don't think that that's really what I want to do. But just believing and trusting in the universe a little bit more is really what I've always wanted to do. But as far as like, as long as I'm working really hard, then I'm really counting on myself. And so with this is like, no longer counting on that ego, and just really taking a break, and just knowing that you'll be okay is what I'm getting so far. So I'm trying to chill today. I was thinking about trying to hang out with some of the people who are around me, but I really don't want to. So I came to the river earlier because in the spot that I normally hang out, there's always a group of people, and I tend to like talk to them a little bit. But today I'm just like trying to just chill out. I'm gonna look up some more meanings, and I'll get back. I'll make a longer video. But yeah, I'm resonating with it right now, and yeah. So some things that happened. So yesterday, when I was downtown by the 16th Street Mall, I had ran into somebody that was from New York, and as much as I don't want to resort to like being competitive as far as art and stuff, so it was strange. Like, we used to sell on the streets together, and we used to sell in the subway mainly, where it was where we were together. We were really different, but I would say like he was a really hard worker as far as selling his art, um, and I do admire that. And I knew he was traveling, but I didn't know he was in Colorado. So I ran into this guy last night, uh, and I don't want to be like I'm the bigger person. I want to be careful about that because I get caught up in it too. But it was very much about he wanted to make money, and he was saying I should go to Boulder, Colorado, which is like 40 something minutes away from here, on the bus, because he felt like how I set up my art is very good there because it's like a hippie vibe and whatever. And he just said like I guess he does well there too, but he was also trying to explain like spots here that I could try. But it became very much about money, 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 money. And I resorted to speaking that language because I knew that was like kind of what he was about. And as much as it is about making money because I want to get to the next location and buy food and stuff, I don't want to be caught up in that. So with the hangman, is like, though it's been going on for a while, that I don't want to be like so uh money driven, or my drive being money, and living like this. Like, I don't really need much money, but I do have like my food expenses, my traveling expenses, supplies and stuff like that. So I need money to do that. But I don't know whatever his reasons are for why he wants money. I assume I know, but it was very much like money, money, and make money. So anyway, this morning he called me when I already had decided to come here to the river and just chill. And I just want to chill and make stuff so I can go out to sell. And he said he already went to Boulder, and he was like, come to Boulder, come to Boulder. And as much as I was trying to explain, like, I wasn't interested in going today, like, I'll go probably next week, he was just like, oh, but if you wait till next week, you're gonna miss out on all this money. And so anyway, to get back to the hangman, is like, that used to be, it was never like really strong within me to make money, only because I had to pay rent. But it is like, with pulling this car tied into all the other cars I've been pulling, I understand that I need to like take up a new way of thinking about it. And it's more so the way I've always wanted to think about art and interacting with others. It's like language, communication, creating community, creating a dialogue on a certain uh, on a perspective that I tend to be aware of. Maybe somebody else could like chime in on it and kind of get the language that I'm trying to put out there. That's like my connections and making like yeah, connections is why I make art. And I this whole journey, it has made me better at it and showing me like I don't have to worry so much about money. At least like it seems that way for now. But but yeah, I just stood my ground. Not that that would have been hard because I love being off on my own. And is as interesting as it was to see him. It's not like somebody I really want to hang out with that much. But I would say when we were back in New York and we were trying to sell our stuff in the subway, or we were selling our stuff in the subway, we were like partners in a way, because if he needed to use the restroom, I would watch his stuff. If I needed to use the restroom, he would watch my stuff. You know, I guess we kind of held down our spaces until one another showed up, because um, other people might have wanted to use the space that we were in. Um, but so yeah, even though he kept stressing that I would like to come to Boulder, it wasn't hard for me to be like, no, I'm not coming. But it just made me think like that's not what I'm about. Like money is important in a sense, and but that's always been my thing. Like I always would say, people like money isn't that important. More like I want to make a connection. I want to make the art that I want to make, and if people like it, then they'll buy it. But I don't want to just make stuff or do stuff just to make money. And some people will say, oh, fuck that, that's not true, what you talking about, that don't make sense, and I'd be like, bro, excuse me, but it is who I always been. And when I was younger, I guess it would make me question it, because maybe I felt like I was like, am I wrong, am I being honest, like maybe it is about money. But I finally gotten to this point where I'm like, it isn't about money for me, and I have to understand that for people who are caught up in like making money, or if they're just interested in making money, I don't want to, say I understand it. For them it is, and they might not be able to understand where it is that I'm coming from, but for me it's not, and I don't need to like try to understand them. I don't need to like try to make them understand me, or I kind of understand where they're coming from, but it's like they're caught up in the cycle of like you got to make money to get to get the things you want in this world, and money will make you happy. And I just don't believe in that. I make small risks, like I said in another video. I don't spend a lot of money. I don't really care for a lot of things that some people care about, so I don't need to spend money on stuff that most people spend to be happy. I guess I would like more relationships and more companions and more like experiences that I share with people. But for my experience, like it didn't really come from the money. The happiness doesn't come from having money or making money or trying to like. But when I saw this person, I kind of like felt like I was being sucked back into that mentality of like, oh yeah, money. And though it wasn't even that's not really what I was about, but I suppose I was competitive. Like I'm not trying to say like I'm just a higher being in a way, but I realized how far away from that I had gotten, and then when I saw him, it kind of made me kind of jump back into that way of being and thinking in a way. Um, Another thing, this other guy came and started talking to me over here by the river, and it was interesting. And I guess what he was going through was a lot what I was going through, because living like this on the streets and stuff, it is a lot of people who are dealing with addictions, and I do see it more like they're trying to self-medicate, and there's a lot behind it. It's almost not up to them, but they're just trying to survive the best way they can, and drugs is what they use to help them. it's not just, I don't look at it as like everybody who's doing drugs is doing drugs just to party and have fun. They're using it because it's like an easy way to cure, like to medicate or to get something for something that they feel like they need, whether it's like physical, mental, emotional, whatever. And he felt like he was teetering on a line of like falling into the like a lifestyle of doing hard drugs, and also teetering on like he had the ability to do what society would ask of you, to get a job and work it and pay rent, like, and he was trying to figure out, is there either one way or another, like is it either do the like just let the drug life consume you, or just work a job, be discontented? And was there like a balance, or a middle ground? And it was interesting because it's like definitely what I'm going through too. Is like he did see value, or it's kind of a enjoying a traveling lifestyle and living out here, but then he had questions about it and couldn't really figure out, well, what he wanted to do. So it was interesting to have that conversation. But all of this seems to be dealing with this hangman. I feel like because it's like taking a time to just meditate and think of new ways of thinking and being in the world, and just before moving forward. And this is the other times that like I've had days like where you just feel um, enlightened by something, like a thought or something, and you feel like, I've heard it explained, like you feel ancient and you feel like all is well. And I've been feeling like that a lot lately. And but still part of me is like questioning, like, is this something I should be doing that I'm not, you know? And is my way of being in the world wrong? Am I working towards being in the world in a more correct way? You know, or to each his own, you know, nihilism, you know, pessimism, optimism, yeah, all the optimistic or whatever. But all right, yeah, let me think more. Okay, just ending it like, so letting go of the old and taking time to let in the new, and be lazy, and yeah, take a break. I guess reverse would be like, you know, maybe you taking too long of a break and you need to come down from that tree and express, I guess, whatever you brought in during that time. All right, have a good one.